Back for another amazing stock market watch list. This is the Robinhood Stock Market Watch List. We are an affiliate of the Facebook group Robinhood Stock Market Watch List. So welcome if you're just joining me, or if you're watching this at a later time, that's a-okay. We're going to cover the overall stock market, the S&P 500, the IWM, the QQQs, and some of the other things that can give us a general idea of what's going on in the market. Then, of course, we're going to look at the economic calendar. We're going to see what data is coming up and what we need to watch out for, because there's a lot of volatility that's in the market. We need to make sure that if we have trades, what's going to affect us and at what times. And then, of course, we're going to go through my stock market watch list. I have a doozy for you, a little over 15 stocks. I have used all my scanners. I've went through 4 months of scannery-teria. Okay, my past 4 months of all the hottest stocks that I've been watching. I've been keeping an eye on everything so you don't have to. But of course, I always want everybody to be self-reliant, so make sure you're doing your homework as well. Now, we're going to go ahead and smack this intro button. Pop. All right, guys, let's get right into this. So the very first thing that everybody wants to know is what in the hell happened on Friday afternoon? We were all down, right? If you were in a stock, you were down. If it was at least a decent stock, you failed in that market. Well, what the hell happened? Well, multiple things happened. Well, if you were watching me, if you were subscribed on the channel, then you got smacked with that beautiful, beautiful data. That beautiful data that I brought to your sweet, sweet ears about both the CPI index and the PPI coming out for you. It came right to you, and it showed you that we had better than expected numbers. Of course, the numbers showed that there was economic contraction, which can look bad for the overall market, but that was good for the market because it's showing Papa Powell can now reduce those rates. So what did we expect? Well, we expected the market to move higher. What happened? Well, the data came out right here at this time, and it moved higher. Then what happened? It found resistance at the previous all-time high. Let's go ahead and maximize this. This is your daily time frame on the S&P 500. We use this as a benchmark because that's what all the biggest investors use. This is their benchmark. If you can beat the S&P 500 return rate, that's what you want to use. So we look at this because this tides rise brings all sinking ships, okay? It brings everything else up with it. So we look at the S&P 500, and this is what we want to beat. Well, look at this beautiful thing. Here was previous all-time high, and in the pre-market, it bounced up on that data, okay? We got that data, it bounced up, and then it failed hard. This is what I call a shakeout and a upside reversal. What does that mean? Well, everybody that was weak hands, or paper hands, as the Wall Street Bets likes to call it, right? The weak hands, they exited some of their stocks. Now, I'm still holding 3 of my 4 stocks. So yes, I paper-handed one of my stocks, but it's setting up again, and we'll go through that very, very soon. But the S&P 500 had that upside reversal. Absolutely beautiful to see. We pushed up higher, we had that upside reversal, and now not only are we above that 21-day moving average, but we're above a 10-day moving average. So what do I expect in the very, very near future? Well, I can tell you what I expect and what I hope for. What I expect is to at least trade sideways and stay above this 21-day moving average right here. If we can do that, that's going to be absolutely beautiful, especially because look at this tall tail sign of this volume. On this whole push-up, I kept saying the volume is underneath the average. Now that we have an upside reversal, it came in on much higher volume. That is a beautiful expectancy on this upside reversal for the overall market. Okay? So the S&P 500 looks absolutely beautiful. This is a risk-on scenario. This is definitely something everybody needs to pay attention to. Okay? If you weren't already with me on this $500 bounce, the psychological and technical area where we bounced off this $500 level, I said risk on. I said, let's put our money to work. And that's exactly what we did here at David Worrell. In the Discord, we all put our money to work and we made some money. As long as that stayed above this 21-day moving average, I was happy. And we did until this day. I wiped my hands clean of it. It came down, it bounced right back up, and now we're green side go again, okay? We have to bend like a tree in the wind. You have to be malleable in the market. If you get too bound and determined on one side or the other, you will get hurt in this market. So be careful out there. So as of right now, we are risk on. We are expecting bigger, greener days. In the next week to come, I'm hoping to at least see some sideways action or to hold above the 21-day moving average. If we want to continue to the north side, that's fine with me. Let's make some more money. Next up is the QQQs. This is the tech heavy, and you're going to see this across the board. Another upside reversal above a 21-day moving average. Yes. Okay, still below a 10-day declining, which is a short-term negative signal. But if we can stay above this 21-day moving average, things are still looking good. If we break below this 21-day moving average, I will change my opinion. The IWM seen a formidable change in its direction. I told you guys it broke not only its 50-day moving average, but this beautiful trend line that we had from previous days. Now, because it broke that trend line and it ripped up much higher, we're getting above this area, that 205 area. If we can break above it and have some continuation higher, this is looking really, really good for the IWM, guys. Really, really good. We need to get above this all-time 210. It's very serious error where people are selling off. Zamora, I see you in the chat. What's going on? And if you guys are with me in the Discord, John Swan, Predator, I see you guys in the Discord. Go ahead and join that YouTube live for me. Let's get that view count up, baby. We have a poll. We already got 12 votes on the poll. And if you guys look at my screen right here, right now, you can see that we have this selling off. Zamora, I see you in the chat. What's going on? And if you guys are with me in the Discord, let me John see, Swan, Predator, I see you guys in the Discord. Never mind, I figured it out. I can hear myself talking. I see the likes. Look at all these loves popping in here. Thank you guys so much for that. Hit the like. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I'll refresh this. Let's see how many likes that we got in here. Yeah, 14. Goodness gracious. You guys are nothing but giving me nothing but love. I appreciate you guys. But join this YouTube Live. Let's make it the best YouTube Live that we possibly can tonight, guys. I want to beat our numbers. Let's blow this chat up and let's get our things going. So the IWM is looking very, very nice. And remember, guys, we have the watch list coming up very, very soon. So pay attention. That watch list is going to be absolutely amazing. All right, let's see what we have going on here. I just want to make sure that everybody is a part of this beautiful, beautiful thing. All right, so the IWM is looking absolutely amazing. We could go through the NASDAQ, the Dow Jones, the SMH. We can go through all that, but we're going to skip through that. We're going to look at three things that I find much more important than looking at every single indice, and that is the equally weighted RSP. Now, I told you guys, what was my biggest worry in this overall market? That was breadth in the market. We don't want to see one area doing amazing. If you just see the tech leading the way and holding us up, that shows the rest of the market's weak and that we're having what you might be able to say is a bubble, right? If one thing's leading and it gets way too out of hand and it seems far-fetched, right? The AI situation, the chips in one area, we need to see health move up. We need to see utilities. We need to see some energy moving. We need to see breadth in the overall market. And this is your equally weighted S&P 500. This equally weighted S&P 500 is absolutely crucial in my opinion, because if we see breadth in the market, if we see equal weight in the S&P 500 and it's above these moving averages, that means go. Green means go. And we've seen this happen just at the end of the day on Friday. So stick with me here, guys. That equally weighted S&P 500 is now above all of its key moving averages, is above that trend line that I drew out for you last week, and now is showing some formidable strength. This is what we want to see in the market. This is green side go. Okay? If it gets back below this 50-day moving average, you're going to hear me changing the direction. Sandra McDaniel. What's going on, Sandra? It's good to see you in the chat. Much love, guys. I see all the love popping through here. Nothing but love from me to you, from you to me. Let's keep this going, baby. Next up is the VIX Volatility Index. I told you guys just the 2 days before this that we started to ramp back up here. We started to move up here, and we were running back into the fear area. Now, I think we're just fine as long as we stay roughly below 16 or below 15. But once we start spiking up in this area, it starts to get a little nerve-wracking. Why? Well, the fear index, when we start to rise up higher, when things start to get very volatile and very fearful, you'll see an inverse correlation in the market, meaning when there's a lot of volatility, people start to sell those shares. We don't like to see that, guys. We don't want to see too much volatility because then you'll start to see the market drop. And as you see here, when the fear dropped, the market went higher. An absolutely beautiful thing. And of course, another thing that we always like to look at is the dollar. The dollar seemed to find some resistance here at this downtrend, at that 50-day moving average, and is pulling back. Now, I would love to see the dollar fall off the cliff here. Why? If the dollar can fall off a cliff, we're going to have that same inverse correlation as we do the VIX volatility index. We want to see it fall off a cliff so that way more money goes into those speculatory areas called the stock market. Okay, so if you have any vehicle that you are investing in, like the S&P 500, which would be a 401k, a Roth IRA, or any type of vehicle in that similar sense where you are investing for a long period of time, you want to see this head higher. Absolutely head higher. All right. Next up, we'll take a look at Bitcoin just because it's setting up. This is setting up, and I have a Bitcoin stock that I want to show you guys, okay? I have a Bitcoin stock I want to show you guys, and I will talk about that very soon, but I think it's very important to take a look at Bitcoin because the industry or the institutional ownership is eyeing this up. Look how tight this is getting, guys. You see this big move up, this big pullback, and another move up breaking above this downtrend. Now it's getting tighter. I don't care what you believe in when it comes to Bitcoin. I don't care about your thoughts. I care about the technical analysis, and I care about what exactly is happening in this technical analysis. It's getting tight. It's showing that things are going to be fruitful in Bitcoin. If it breaks this 10-day moving average, I might want to step back and wait a second. But right now, from what it's showing me, I can bear its fruit and let it rip, tater, chip, and I have a stock for you. So stay tuned, guys. It's going to be an amazing thing. So I'll just show you a couple of the stocks that I'm still in. We have Flex. You guys know, if you've been with me at any amount of time, in our Discord, at David Worrell's Discord, you can find it in the YouTube chat. You can see that we play base breakouts and trend breakouts. Very, very specific things. We've honed in on this. We have taken back tested data, and we have videos teaching you exactly how to do that for guess how much? Absolutely freaking free. I learned how to do it for free from a bunch of amazing traders, and I want to portray that same information to you. Why? Because the more I teach it, the better I get at it. And we have a team of traders in there that are following the same criteria. Let me show you a few. FLEX, this was pointed out by my good friend Covey, who's in the chat right now. Thank you, Covey, for this amazing win right here. You can see here we took about 300 shares, nothing too crazy. This thing broke its base. Here's your base. Here's the breakout. Here's where we took that breakout. We're using this following the 10-day moving average. We taken off a piece at 1R risk multiple. We took another piece off here, and we're holding another 100 shares until it breaks below the 10-day moving average. This thing has paid me multiple times. On this last piece, we're up another $342. So I've paid myself multiple times. I cannot lose on this trade. It's absolutely beautiful. So FNMAS, a slower mover at 3.5%, but this was also pointed out by another user in our community. Shout out to you, Mo Wealth. We were just talking about this. Very easy trade. What is this? Well, look at this, guys. It is a trend. This is trending down and trending up, ascending, descending, and it gets a tight area. When it breaks above it, we buy. It's that simple. Using the 10-day moving average as my stop out, we're up about $248 on this trade, and that shakeout day before the upside reversal did not stop us out on these past two trades. Next up, NVDL. Yes, NVIDIA. I have paid myself. This was a great trade. I've made well over a couple of thousand in this trade. Here's your base breakout. I could not get in at the base because it was on earnings. Earnings took off. We played the opening range breakout. We paid ourselves. We paid ourselves. We paid ourselves. We paid ourselves. I'm only holding on to 1/8 left of this position. It's pulling back, and if it breaks below the 10-day moving average, I'm still making money. I still own about 25 shares. We're still up $180. And NVDL is actually NVIDIA. So keep that in mind, guys. NVDL is just a cheaper way to buy NVIDIA. All right, and then of course I have my vehicles of investments like VOO and VTI. We're up a great amount on those, but I don't think you guys are here for investments. You want to know the stock market watch list. So if you have waited this long, wait no further. let's go through my watch list and we will take our time. If you guys have any questions about my watch list, you're more than welcome to ask it. Let's go through the chat though really quick. John Swan says, "Goat, what's up, baby? It's good to see you in the chat, John Swan." Covey says, "Got you, great trade." Okay, yes you did, sir. FLEX is flexing on him. Four Seasons says, "Hey David, Four Seasons, it's good to see you, brother. Glad to see that you're in the chat." And guys, don't be shy. You're more than welcome to say whatever you need to say in that chat. If you got a stock that you want to see, you got something that you have questions about, you're more than welcome to ask. And if not, make sure that you hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Look at my screen right here. Here's the like button. In case you don't know where it's at, I can show you. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I'll refresh this now to see if we moved up any. Let's take a little peeky gander, shall we? 24 likes, goodness gracious. Nothing but love. You guys are showing nothing but love, and I see the subscriber count coming in. That's what we like to see. And if you guys want more of this, go ahead and look at the description. You'll see that we have a Discord. It's absolutely free. We go over all of this every night at 9 p.m. We have these same types of meetings so that way we can stay in tune. And now, without further ado, we have the stock market watch list. Now, some of these are setting up, and some of these we are keeping on our watch list to set up. This is one that we want to keep on our watch list to set up. And if you haven't known about it, it's FSLR. Clean energy has been taking the market by storm lately and on volume. This does not have a setup just yet, but we're waiting for a trend or we're waiting for a base breakout. So make sure you keep FSLR on your watch list. It's very, very important right now. Now, we were talking about Bitcoin earlier. How do you get a hold of Bitcoin without buying Bitcoin? Because to be quite honest, I don't want to buy any Bitcoin. I sure could, and you could too. But if you wanted to grab its move without buying the Bitcoin, well, simply enough, you could look to IREN. Now, this is a very fast mover. This is a small account mover, okay? What do I mean by that? If you have a small account, let's say under $30,000, and you're trying to increase your profitability quick, okay, this is something that you could buy or sell depending on how you wanted to trade, and you could take your account to new places, or you could completely ruin it. At 10.3% ADR, it's a very fast mover. It's what I call a rip your face off. It's what I call a make or break your account. So make sure you understand risk management before you start playing this. But right here, I have an area of a breakout around that $8. If it can get above $8, I'll be looking at this per a possible future trade. Now, these are my ideas, not yours, so keep that in mind. If you get into something like this, that's at your own discretion, okay? Now, also, I wouldn't mind seeing this thing set up for 3 or 4 more days to let this 10 and 21-day moving average catch up to it. So we will see very, very soon what is to happen. But if we can get into IREN as Bitcoin flies higher, this is part of Bitcoin. It follows the ETF, and I really think that this has a chance to run higher. So we will see very, very soon. Keep that on your watch list. Now, of course, we have ANF. Mo Wealth was another one watching this. I actually took a trade in this. I bought in on this first trend break. If you guys remember, we had that bloody sell-off, that 6-day pullback that ensued. It started to build new higher lows here, got above its moving averages, and formulated this beautiful trend. So ANF actually broke above. We took a share, and we ended up making some money on this. Now, they just had earnings. Earnings showed to be very profitable. Now, I don't play earnings. I consider earnings a gamble. Kevin Kilgore, you know I love that name, brother. Good to see you in here. Apple and AESI. We'll definitely go through those right after this watch list. I got about 15 more tickers to go through. I promise it won't be long, and we will be looking at Apple and AESI. So stay tuned, Kilgore. Man, I tell you, if I had a name like that, I'd use it as my screen tag too. All right, so let's go through ANF. ANF, this is not a buy right now. Why? It's extended from the 10-day. It's extended from the 21-day moving average, okay? But it's definitely a leader. It's definitely a leader in the consumer retail. This thing pushed up higher. Now it's pulling back. If we can show a trend or form a base before a breakout, that would be absolutely beautiful. So make sure ANF is on your watch list. Now, we have NVAX. Now, I don't know if you guys have seen NVAX yet, but this is in the Healthcare, I think this is also a biotech, so let's just look that up because I don't want to put you guys at too much risk. Now, I don't care for bio stocks, but when they're setting up, boy, they're setting up. And let's just double check. Health and technology and biotechnology, okay? So this has more risk to it than anything, just because you guys have to understand when it's a biotech, it can get one bad piece of news and this thing could tank. So keep that in mind when you're looking at this. Why do I like it? It's setting up. It had a big move up on higher volume. It had this volume dry up down here. If you're not familiar with the VCP pattern, that means the volume contraction pattern means less volume is coming in on the sell-off, and it's getting tighter here on the 10-day moving average. Adam, I know if you're looking at this right now, you absolutely love the look of NVAX. It's also a biotech. In January, Covey and I made a ton of money on biotech. So it's nice to see that they're still holding up and they're still setting up. We're going to see if they want to have some continuation on running. So if it wants to break above this $15 area, I definitely would like to be a part of this. This isn't buy or sell recommendation here. This is just something that I will most likely be doing. I'm going to put my money to work and I'm going to make money doing it. You better believe that. So NVAX, put that on your watch list, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Thank you, Adam or Covey, for sharing that in the channel. Ken Sabrera, good to see you in here. What app are you using to look at the chart? Yes, Covey answered it properly. That is Thinkorswim. We also have TraderView as well. We like to use TraderView as well. TraderView is an absolutely amazing way of using this. I just have all my scanners and I'm more comfortable on Thinkorswim. But if you want to use TraderView, the link is in the description. You actually get 7 days. I think it's 7 days for free for using this, or that might be TraderSync to track your trades. But either way, the link's in the description if you want to try this one out. If not, you have to set up an account over here for the Thinkorswim. Absolutely no big deal. And yes, it helps the channel out a lot. We have ONON is the next one on the list. Why do I have this? Well, it's a leader in the market. And I also seen this thing setting up beautifully. This is a big base setting up right here. I ended up trying to get a piece here. I got shook out. On this day, and it took off without me. So I have the right stocks, but we're not in the right stock. We're not in this stock right now, okay? It is extended now, so now I have to wait for another setup. And if it is a leader in the market, if ONON wants to continue to be a leader, you're going to see multiple setups on these. So don't have your fear of missing out. Don't take what I'm giving you and say, hey, I need to get in this right here, right now, so this thing can rip tater chip. No, it will set up again. Let's be positive. Let's have positive reinforcements and understand that the leaders in the market give you multiple opportunities to get in. So there's no reason to have fear of missing out in the market. Everybody has issues with that fear of missing out. But I promise you, if you give yourself that delayed gratification, you'll find out that it is absolutely wunderbar when you grab a trade at the right time. So trend breaks and base breakouts. And if you guys want to learn those strategies, we have that in our resource section in our Discord, or you can check out my live section under the videos. You'll see we actually have how to trade the trend and the base breakouts. Next up is SHIP, SHIP. This set up a couple of different times, and I want to point both of these out to you. Covey will agree with me. This is a textbook base breakout. This is exactly what we want to see when we're trading these base breakouts. This is SHIP, SHIP, or Synergy Maritime, if I said that right. Sea Energy, all right? Synergy. I want to be stuck on that word. Let me take a sip. So SHIP, guys, this thing set up absolutely beautiful at that 960, 970 area, and then it broke off higher. We played this, and just before earnings, we ended up exiting out of this, and it ended up taking off higher. So where's our next area to get in? Well, here is a beautiful trend break. If it can stay above this area, I'm gonna go ahead and set my alert again right here. If it can break above this 1230, I would say that that's the trend breakout area, and we can use that 10-day or previous day low as our exit. Okay, so if the overall market wants to continue higher, the shipping and the cargo sector has been doing very, very well. SHIP is definitely one you want to keep on your watch list. Next up, ASPN. ASPN is absolutely beautiful, guys. This thing broke out on not only a trend breakout, but we have a beautiful base breakout here too. I took this trade. I took a small share size because it was in the pre-market, was the only time I could see it break above that 27.50 area. We got in it, and then this thing actually shimmy shake me out. So this is the only stock on that pullback that actually shook me out of the market was ASPN. And I was so proud of myself for getting a hold of this because the whole crew was keeping their eye on this stock. And I was one of the very few that was able to get in comfortably. I wasn't able to take the 1,000 shares that I wanted to, of course, but I was able to get in comfortably with 100 shares. And I did not take profits up here, which I probably should have. But because I didn't have even a third of my share size in here, I just held on to it using that 10-day moving average as my stop. So I made a small profit on this, but not nearly as much as I should have with ASPN. So we're going to keep an eye on this. Maybe it breaks above this base here. Maybe it has some more time to set up. But regardless, this is another beautiful, beautiful move in the market. After earnings, this thing just shot, skyrocketed, trade sideways, had a beautiful base breakout. And let's see if we can see some continuation. And guys, if you haven't already, actually, we'll slap that on in just a second. Another very speculative stock that looks just like FNMAS. Let's go back to FNMAS, and you can see, look at this pattern, this trending, an ascending trending pattern, this bull flag, if you will. If we go now to MNY, you can see that same setup here. Now, I usually don't condone to showing you penny stocks because they can really make or break the community. I want you guys to understand, if you use proper risk management on these stocks, you will be A-okay. Now, I was watching this during the day, and the liquidity in this is absolutely garbage, okay? It's got like 30 cents of liquidity or in a range. And so I don't want to see anybody playing this until it breaks above and starts tightening up on its liquidity. I want to see it within a couple of pennies before any of us get into this thing. So this is something that I have on watch. If it breaks above that $2.18 and gets above this area, I'm going to take the same trade like I took out on FNMAS. So MNY, or Money Hero. Money Hero. It's got a cape on. It's looking good, and I love this trend break strategy. So if we can keep an eye on this, this was actually pointed out by another person in the community. I just keep on watching it. I'm being patient with this one, but this thing could be absolutely beautiful. That same setup, too, was on IREN, if you guys see. Trend break strategy. I'm telling you, I love the trend break strategy. So keep that on your watch list. Now, we have all been watching in our Discord, David Worrell's Discord right here, this base breakout strategy as well. PWFL, Power Fleet Incorporated. This PWFL at the 560 area, if it can hold this 21-day moving average and keep on keeping on to the north side, this thing might rip, tater, chip to the north side. All we have to do is be patient. Even if this thing trades and gets tighter and tighter over the next week, we might have a nice trade in a week or so. We also have AEM, and don't think I forgot about you, Kilgore. Apple and AESI will be coming up very, very soon. Let me take a little sip here. That's good. That's good stuff. AEM. So AEM is actually riding this 21-day moving average very, very well. It's been moving up and following the 10-day moving average very significantly. We have this trend. It broke above the trend and then started forming a base. We have a base here. If it breaks above this $69 area, yes, you heard it here first. If it breaks above that $69 area and can continue higher, I would like to be a part of that, okay? Now, you can see we had a huge breakdown here, and this pop up, it might head back down, but that's why we use risk management. If we can get above this and start playing that continuation again, we can use that 10-day moving average once again as our stop loss, and we can hold on to this trade as it continues higher. Of course, now we have ELF. ELF was being watched by Night Owl in our Discord, and he played it off this day here, I believe. Either way, I didn't find it to be the best trade because we're trying to teach base breakouts and trend breakouts. But the thing is with it though, he made some money, but we're all trying to learn from the best ways to analyze these trades, right? So a green trade isn't always a good trade. We need to make sure that we're playing a setup. Now, if you're playing an intraday off the VWAP, that's one thing. And if you're going to play that way, intraday is the way to go off those VWAPs. That's beautiful strategy as long as you have it back tested. If not, this is a leader in the market. So I don't mind you guys keeping this on your watch list. This is absolutely strong. And if it can break above this trend line, bouncing off this 10-day moving average, that might be a nice stock to keep on your watch list. So ELF, a former leader, now showing some leadership once again. Can this thing have one and last final push? Or maybe it just never stops. It doesn't stop till it drops, baby. Next up, we have RSI. RSI is looking absolutely beautiful. We can see right up here at the top, we have a base breakout at that $9 area. Keep RSI on your watch list. We also have CRS. We want to keep CRS on your watch list. This thing is absolutely beautiful as well, getting very, very tight here now. CRS, rip, tater chip off this earnings area. Intraday VWAP. Oh, Kilgore, you're night owl. Hell yeah, dude. And that's, you know what? Let's just go back to that, because when we were looking at that, I actually looked at that 5-minute and I said, well, this looks dirty. Let me just go ahead and switch back to this, and I'll switch to that 5-minute. Yeah, so I was watching your trade here, and it looks right here is where you took that trade off that 180.51. Not only is it a beautiful trade off that VWAP area, but it also bounces off a psychological area of support, and that's 180.50. 180 is psychological, 50 is psychological. That was a beautiful bounce, and it headed higher. So I absolutely love that. But we need to make sure we're back testing those trades. So you can see it happens here. And if we look back on this stock, you can see it's happened multiple times. All right, so let's go ahead and put this daily back up here. Night Owl, I'm glad that you're here, and I'm glad that you're the Kilgore guy, bro. Hell yeah. I'm not calling you Night Owl anymore. It's Kilgore for sure. CJ Sabrera, can anyone recommend a screener setup to find these types of trades? Brother CJ, if you want, you're more than welcome to join our Discord. Dan, Bob, Dan, the greatest moderator alive, will post that in the chat for you right now. So that way you can actually see the scanners that we put up. We actually go over these on a daily basis at 9 p.m. in our Discord. We actually do this live all the time to show you what these are. We actually have screeners and setups for you. You just got to join the Discord. It's absolutely free. And guys, while we are here, let's go ahead and take a look at my screen. This is self-preservation, baby. Make sure you vote on the poll. Will the market reach all-time new highs this week? Is the question. Yes. 533.07. Here we come. 75% of you said yes. And then 10% of you said no. We'll head back down this week. And then 15% of you said, bruh, just give me that watch list, y'all. And that's totally fine. That's what we're all here for anyway. Make sure you hit this like button. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. We're trying to form the best community, and it's growing as fast as lightning. So thank you guys so much for being here. I do appreciate you being here. And if you could go ahead and hit that like and subscribe, that definitely helps this channel out a lot. I just refreshed this to see how many we got, and we're kicking butt and taking names, guys. Thank you so much for being here. So that is up. Thank you, Dan Bob, for posting that. Next up, we have, okay, we were on CRS. Let me go ahead and blow this back up. CRS looking absolutely amazing after earnings. Stayed above the 10-day moving average, forming a beautiful base up here at the top. That's something I want to be a part of. GTE moving 4%. If you want to take a peeky gander at this, you can see it's been having a lot of wicks in this 950 area, just selling off. This is what we like to see, a big sell-off, but it gets bought right back up. It says, oh, hell no. There's institutional ownership buying this thing up, and it wants to climb higher. So the accumulation phase is happening in this area, forming a base at the top. If they can break above 944, GTE, Grand Tierra, if I'm saying that right, the energy sector, GTE is bound to head higher. The question is GTE, we'll just look it up right now. We'll see what sector this is in, because we know we want to be in the hottest sectors. So it's in the energy, minerals, or integrated oil. We can even scroll down here and read what it has to do. It engages in the exploration and production of oil and natural gases in Colombia and Ecuador. It holds interest in the assets located in the middle Magnolia Valleys and Potomac basins. Little speculatory there, to be quite honest, because if it's not a United States stock or a United States controlled company and it's not working in the United States, it gets me a little weary. But that's why we use risk management. We play the technicals, we use the sectors, and Yeah, yeah. Am I lagging or is this David? You better believe it, it's David. We have IPW. All right, IPW, guys. IPW, this thing looks absolutely amazing. Now, this is another penny stock, okay? Now, you guys know I don't really care for these penny stocks, or at least I don't like showing them off to you, but these penny stocks can be make or break your accounts at 29.6%. We always want to keep an eye on these, even if we don't play these. If you have a small account under $10,000 or actually under $30,000, you can really change your life with these accounts, but you also can break your account too. So make sure you're using risk management when you follow these, okay? Big move up, a pullback, and now starting to form this area. If it can continue to get tighter here and let the 10 and 21-day moving average catch up to it and then break higher, let's just go ahead and do something like this, break higher on this area, that might be a tasty little treat. So just put this on your watch list. I think it personally needs some more time to set up. Mo Wealth, I see you on EU. We will check that out in just a minute. We got to do Apple and AESI for my boy Kilgore just in a minute. Let me just go through this watch list really quick. We have ASTS looking absolutely amazing up here at this 850, but remember, these are extended, so we want to keep an eye on these, but we don't want to buy these right now. No fear of missing out here. We're going to see what this thing wants to do up here in this area. I'm trying to figure out why. There, this is why. I have this thing on the 5-minute, or better yet, the hourly. If we look at the hourly, you can see this trend breakout. Now, do not play this if you are new to playing the trend or the base breakouts. This is a much faster time frame. I have this set up because I do like to see these on the hourly time frames for more of an intraday where you get in and you get out at the tops here, and then you let the rest ride, okay? So this is more speculative. It is extended. It's not something that I would like to see other people play, but I would like you to keep it on your watch list so that way you can keep an eye on the same stocks that everyone else is. ASAU, this is in the Gold Corporation. This is forming that beautiful trend base breakout that I've been telling you about. Look how tight this is getting at 9% ADR. This is pointed out by our boy Danny in the Discord. So thank you, Danny, for that one. Much appreciated. Let's see. Oh, okay. I got you, Covey. I see that. Yeah, we'll definitely take a look at EU for sure. I might as well just put it on my watch list if both my boys are saying this. Hell yeah. So ASAU, Gold Corporation, definitely need to keep an eye on that. We also have DDL, which is also forming a nice area. I don't see a trade just on it just yet, but you can see this big push up, this trend break, another big push up. We might see another trend break right here. So I'm just going to mark this out. So that way, if it does, I can keep my eye on it and I can form this up a little bit cleaner right here so you guys can have a better understanding. Again, this is a smaller cap stock, very, very slow. I also have BWEN. This is another small cap stock, so keep that in mind. We just draw these trends out for you so you can see what I'm seeing, okay? And then I mark this out so I have an alert, all right? Now, these are just ones that you want to put on your watch list. It's not anything too crazy. Now, it is time to go over what you have put in the watch list. We are at 9:38. We got about a half an hour left to go. So if you guys have still stuck with me from the very beginning, congratulations to you. You obviously are here to learn. You're here to better yourself. You're here to set yourself up for the market ahead. Congratulations to you, okay? Not a lot of people want to learn. We've been talking about this multiple times where we have so much information to show you. We have so much information to talk about, but yet there's not enough people out there that actually want to learn. So congratulations you for being here. Now, let's go over my boy Kilgore. Kevin Kilgore says, take a look at Apple. So let's go ahead and go over AAPL. Apple actually looks like it's setting up very, very well here, actually. So if we look at Apple, you can see there is a base breakout right here. That is beautiful area right here that we need to keep an eye on. That 192.25, if it breaks above that 193 area, I think that is definitely something to keep an eye on. Now remember, AAPL, Apple, is a slow mover. It moves 1.5%. So if you're getting into this, it's not going to make you millions, okay? This is a slower mover stock. Yes, it's safer. Yes, it is well known. Yes, you can still make money on your account, but it's going to be harder. It's slower, okay? So just keep that in mind. and it is basing on that 10-day moving average. It's been following it ever since the most recent earnings surprise. Absolutely beautiful. So yes, I do like Apple. That's looking good, Kilgore. What's the other one you said, Kilgore? AESI? AESI? Let's take a look at AESI. Sandra McDaniel. We will definitely go over P10 in just a minute. Let me get through some of these here. Let's see. So AESI, I can see what you're seeing here. This is beautiful. So I'll just mark this out. Let me blow this up a little bit for you guys to see. So look at this here. Let me just mark the all-time highs, all-time previous highs, because it made new all-time highs here. It formed this kind of an awkward cup and handle. I wouldn't call this a cup and handle, but you can see here, if you just subtract this, it kind of looks like a bit of a cup and handle. Here's your handle, and now we want to see this thing form a base here. I can't play much with this because it just looks a little too choppy on this end here. It is in the Atlas Energy Solutions, so if we look up AESI, let's see what sector this is in. So it's in the oil field services. We obviously seeing a lot of setups in the oil field services. This is Atlas Solutions, proprietary and logistics company. It offers to sell oil and gas industries. The company was founded. Okay, so oil and gas industries looking pretty good up here. Not much I can do with this stock though, because you know I like the base breakouts, I like the trend breakouts, but it is definitely in play. The stock is definitely in play. You can see it's got this huge push up. It's held its pullback. It's holding the 50-day moving average and all of its other moving averages. So I would like to see this have some continuation, maybe form a base here or show us a new trend. And break up higher above this $25 area. So beautiful watch list there. We have EU. All right, so EU, yeah, I actually have this on my watch list. I don't have it on my watch list, but I'm going to throw it on here. So let's just go ahead and talk about EU for a second, guys. So I'll bring this up on TraderView, and if you guys want to check out TraderView, it's absolutely free. You can set it up. It's in my description there. I have a link. You can click on that. It's absolutely free. You can set it up. And if you guys want more from it, you're more than welcome to have your add-ons and stuff like that. But I have a link in the description if you want to use this. It's got a great setup over here for all of your financials and your what is and what isn't. So it's another energy stock. So EU Energy Corporation engages in the acquisition and exploration of resource proprietaries or properties. It projects portfolios include the Kingsville Dome, Rosetta, Vasquez, Butler Ranch in Texas, Crow Point and Hosta, Nose Rock, and on and on and on. So it's a pretty big corporation here. And again, it's in the oil industry. And look at this, big, big cup. This isn't a William O'Neill's. I think that's too deep. Let's just throw it on the weekly. I'll be able to tell you a little bit more. Yeah, it's too big of a cup, but it is a cup and handle nonetheless. This looks absolutely beautiful, guys. It is good to see. Now, it's got this huge base right here at the top. I absolutely love this $5 area. If it could break this psychological $5 area for EU, absolutely beautiful. Ken Sabrera, I see ASTS. We'll get there in just a minute, brother. Thank you so much for throwing that up in the chat. This one's for me. This is straight vodka, right? No, it's water. Only kidding. I'm not that badass. All right, guys. So EU looks absolutely wonderful. It is now back on my watch list. I must have skipped over that when I was going through my last 4 months there. So good eye, Mo Wealth on that one. And Covey, of course, I know you've had that on your top watches, you said. CJ, you're absolutely welcome. P10 for Sandra. Sandra McDonald says P10, please. So PTEN. So I haven't got one of these in a little while. It is in the energy sector, but there's a few things that we need to talk about this one. First of all, if I just draw a simple down trend line, you can see this thing is definitely trending down. And we always like to say the trend is your friend, okay? So it's in a downtrend. So it's not looking too good for this stock when there's many other stocks out there that are in the same sector that are trending up, okay? Also, if we look at this 200-day moving average, I am always hands off if we're under a 200-day moving average, okay? It is setting up new higher lows here, but because it's below all the other moving averages, I'm going to have to say PTEN for me is completely off my watch list. I don't try to bottom fish here. It does have some support at the base. I'm not going to lie. There's a little bit of support down here, but I don't try and grab anything if it's below the 200-day moving average. So me personally, I'm not going to keep an eye on P10. You might find this a great area for yourself to buy, but me personally, I'm looking at the strong stocks. I'm looking at relatively strong stocks in the market. And you might ask yourself, what is or how do you know if it's got a good, strong stock? Well, again, if we look at this trader view, we can go ahead and switch on the Market Smith indicators, and we can zoom out here, and we'll find I have an RS indicator on here. And we're more than happy to teach you guys how to do all of this on this free application. Just join our Discord. It's David Worrell. It's actually in the chat. You're more than welcome to join it. It's absolutely free. And if you guys have any questions on how to set this up, we show you how to do that in our Discord. It's absolutely free. And right here, this is the RS rating. We want to see our RS ratings above 90. P10, not above 90. It's not looking too hot, okay? Where if we look at EU, which is in the same sector, you'll see this RS rating is 95. So that is very good. Why do we want to be in relatively strong stocks? Because if the market starts to fail, the relatively strong stocks compared to the market are going to hold up better than the stocks that are not. So if the market starts to fail tomorrow, EU has a better chance of holding up than P10 does because it is not showing relative strength in the overall market, okay? So I don't agree with P10. That's my thoughts, not yours. So take it for what you will. What else do we got, guys? Let's see, ASTS. Sandra McDonald, you're absolutely welcome. Thank you so much for being a part of this wonderful, wonderful night we're having. We got Neo, Zamora. Now, Zamora, you've been with me long enough to know I have nothing nice to say about Neo. It might go up tomorrow, it might not, but we do have earnings that are coming up on the 6th, which is just in a few days, okay? So I'm hands off of it first and foremost. Second off, it's below a 200-day moving average. You know I don't like that, girl. Come on, girl, and look at this downtrend. It looks like garbage. Zamora, you pick up better stocks than that, all right? So I'm hands off on Neo. I know it's a fan favorite, and I don't want you guys shitting on me just because I said something bad about Neo, okay? My hands are up. My hands are up for your protection, not mine. Only kidding. But seriously, I know Neo's a fan favorite, and, you know, eventually these stocks that are constantly falling are going to have a pop. I mean, look at this. It fell. Boom, big pop, right? Got everybody excited again, and then continue to fall. We might get another pop here. We might. But it's not one that I want to play because it's not strong. I would like those strong stocks. I like those stocks that are continuing to have momentum in the market that are relatively strong to the S&P 500, okay? So not for me, Zamora. And watch, it's going to rip tomorrow because that's what happens every time Zamora brings up a stock. I say something bad about it, and then it climbs higher. My cheerleader over there kicking ass, taking names. So ASTS, you know what? I feel like, I looked at ASTS. This is actually on my watch list. So Ken Zabrera. Am I saying that right, Ken? Zabrera? I feel like I'm saying that right. It feels good. It's rolling off the tongue there. Neo needs American chips, which are on tariff at the moment. Yeah, that makes sense for sure. Ken Zabrera, I hope I'm saying your name right. But yeah, we talked about this earlier. I don't like it on the daily because it's extended. But if you look at it on this hourly up top here, it's absolutely beautiful. I love this trend. Absolutely love this trend here. John Schwan and his beautiful wife are in the building, baby. KR is looking absolutely, well, not anymore. KR, I remember looking at Kroger before, and it was holding up its trend very, very nice. Now, keep in mind, KR is much, much slower, 1.4% here, okay? And it's just pulling back. You guys can see it's been trading in this sideways direction for quite some time now. Okay, it finally broke out of this $50 area where it ripped up higher, and then it pulled back. Now, it's not holding any of these moving averages. So there's not much that I can do with this area until it forms a base or forms a trend. And this isn't much of a clean trend. So if we try and draw a trend off of this, it would look something like this. And so it's well from its trend, falling from its moving averages. And if you look, the average daily range is only 1.4%. So, John, this is too much of a slower mover for me personally. And also, it's kind of a falling knife. Where do we grab onto this thing? You know what I mean? You know, when we see something falling like this, we don't know where to grab onto this, right? We need to see new lower highs. And like this I can show you now. This looks like hindsight, but hear me out, okay? this is below a 200-day moving average, but it starts forming these new higher lows here. So here's a low, here's a new higher low, here's a new higher low, and now it forms this base. Look at this base right here. Forms these 3 new higher lows, forms a base above a 200-day moving average, and then breaks out on higher than average volume. Let me zoom in on this. Look at this right here. Here's your average volume. It breaks out higher here on higher than average volume, and then continues to hold this 10-day moving average, okay? So this would be a more plausible area in my personal opinion. It holds up, it pushes up higher, pulls back, holds a 10-day moving average, and continues much, much higher, okay? Now, I would have been out before earnings because, you know, I always say earnings is a gamble, and I do not take these earnings, okay? But this looks good here. It doesn't look good here. And I see Dan, Bob, Dan in, oh, I love that you said that, Dan. Yes, this is what I call the big drip. It's where it starts to fail, starts to make new lower highs, but no new higher lows. And it just starts to slowly fail, and then it drips. It just drips right down like a water drip. Like it's hanging here, and then drip, okay? So Dan, Bob, I appreciate you bringing that up because that's just something that I made up a while ago. It's something that's how I see the trading pattern, and I appreciate you picking up on that, big dog. I appreciate you. Kevin Kilgore says NEE. And guys, this is your last chance to get in your stock watch list because then we are what you want me to go over, because after this, we are going to go over the data and then we're going to call it quits. So make sure you're paying attention. NEE, look at all this overhead resistance here. Lots of overhead resistance that it's running into here. Now, you can't deny the fact that this thing just ripped, beautiful move, and then it created this trend line, pushed up higher. I think I tried to get in this before. That's why I have these marked out, or maybe we were talking about this before. But, you know, you can see there's a couple of areas, even this area right here. It is 1.8%, so it's a very slow mover. This is about as slow as Kroger is, so it's really slow. It's also getting up into an area of resistance where we don't know what's going to happen here, so keep that in mind too. So I don't care for the stock personally, but it might set up for you. And also, guys, another thing I want to say, I always say they're slower movers. Slower movers might be better movers for you, okay? I like the faster movers. Anything above the average daily movement of 4%, that's how I'm making my money fast, okay? That's what I like to see. So if you like those slower movers that are below 4%, this might be a great stock for you, but it's not for me, okay? So it's a slower mover. It is setting up here a nice base breakout. It's not the cleanest thing, but it held the 10-day, formed a base, and broke out higher. Now it's continuing higher. So if you played this base breakout, congratulations, you are up some money. I'd like to see it. Let's see. Henry Sanchez says Zeta looks like a nice wedge is forming. Let's look at Zeta, and then we're going to call it quits on that. We're going to carry on, guys. ZETA. So I can see that. We had a big push up here. We had a nice trend break here. Let me zoom out here. Is this blue skies? It looks like it's blue skies as well. So I like the look of this. It's starting to chop around here. What do I mean by that? Well, you can see a big gap here. Big gap down, moved around, kind of pulled back some more. So I need it to follow a moving average for a little bit here. So after a big push up like this and a big pullback like this, I need to start forming something else. I do see what you're seeing here, where you got like this wedge kind of forming. So I can understand that. I can see that. But for me, this is a little too choppy, just a little too choppy. Let's give it some time. Let's put it on our watch. Let's give this some time and let it get some more action in here before we make a decision on how we're going to play this. Kevin Gilgore says, great for option traders. Yeah, I can definitely see that. If you're expecting a longer move and you want to take, an out of the money bid there, you're more than welcome to. You know what I mean? That might be a great options trade for you. Personally, I just focus on the stocks rather than the options because I don't like that time decay. That time decay kills me over and over and over again, okay? All right, guys, so that was our segment in our watch list. I hope you guys enjoyed the watch list. Now we are going to make sure that we are safe in the market. But before we move on, I need you to take a look at the screen here. Let's see what we're up to, guys. We got 26 votes on here. That's absolutely beautiful. We have, will the market reach all-time highs this week? 81% of you say yes. We're extremely bullish right now, and I love to see the optimism. If you guys haven't watched the YouTube short that I just came out with about being optimistic, it's very, very important because being an optimist is more likely to pay you than being a pessimist, because you will move up close to the 200% on the bull markets, moving up 5.5 years at a time, where the bear markets do not ensue more than that 37% on average. So it's good to be a optimist. So I appreciate you guys being optimistic. Now we have 8% that say no, we will head back down this week. And I can completely understand that. You guys know I'm a bear with bullhorns. I see the 100s. I see the loves. I see you guys spamming it. I absolutely love it. And my love and my heart goes right back out to you. I would not be here today if it wasn't for each and every one of you showing up for this amazing show. So thank you guys so much. Make sure you hit this like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Everything that I bring you is absolutely free. This is the only thing, guys, that I ask of you. What's in front of you right now, to hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Right here it is. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button. We'll hit a little refresh and see where we're at right now, and we'll see how things are going. I appreciate everybody being here tonight, and we're going to go over the data now, so that way when you are in a stock, you're not asking yourself, what is going on? Where is all of this volatility coming from? We will make sure that we are keeping you safe. So let's go over the data in just a second. I'm trying to give this some time to refresh. Okay, we got 26 likes, absolutely beautiful. 836 subscribers, guys. I couldn't ask for anything more. That's absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for being here. So now let's go over this economic calendar. Why do we want to go over this? Well, there is some key data points. Have you ever been looking at the market and you asked yourself, why is this thing ripping to the north side? I have no idea what is going on right now. What is going on? You start scrambling, trying to figure out what is going on. Well, usually this data gets dropped around 8:30 or 10 o'clock, and we need to make sure you have this on your calendar. So on Monday, we don't have much of anything. We have the PMI going on. You might ask yourself, well, what's PMI? Well, you can click on it. If you go to the economic calendar, you can click on these things, okay? The economic calendar is absolutely beautiful to give you that understanding of what's going on, okay? So what is PMI on Monday at 10 o'clock? Well, if this thing will load, I'll read it to you. The Institute of Supply Management Manufacturing Purchasing Managers. So the PMI reports on business-based data compiled from monthly replies, okay? So it's going to take in all the data that it is bringing in, and it's going to spit that out for you and help you understand exactly where the market is. So the forecasted, the previous was 49.2. This does not have the craziest move in it, okay? So we don't have to worry so much about the PMI, but we want to make sure that we understand that it's coming out at 10. So if you have anything in there and you've got a really, really tight stop, you know that that PMI is going to be coming out. Everything's moving really slow for me today. I don't know why. So yeah, the Institute of Supply Managers, our PMI report, Purchasing Managers Index, okay? It includes the percent of positive responses plus 1/2 of those responding the same, considering positive. The resulting single index number is the seasonally adjusted to allow the effects of the repetitive intra-year variations. All right, next up, more importantly, let me just get rid of these. They don't seem to want to be loading anyway. We have non-manufacturing PMI, okay? I think this is the one that we want to really keep an eye on. This is what will actually move the markets, okay? And then the initial jobless claims on Thursday. Initial jobless claims is going to be how many people in America are filing for unemployment. What we want to see for unemployment is a higher number. So the previous was 219. We're expecting 215. If we get anything above 215, showing that the economy is still contracting and more people are filing for that unemployment, you'll see the market will take that as a bullish sign. Why? If more people are without a job, less people can spend money, which is showing that those increased rate holds that he's holding at 5.5%, he has more incentive to then bring down. If the market, if Powell decides that he's going to bring those rates down sooner, you're going to see the market go up faster. It's very, very important that you know that. If the rates get cut before September, the market's going to rip. If they get cut on September, they're going to rip. If he cuts at any given time, wherever the market's at, it will go higher. It shows it in history, and it's going to show that now. So initial jobless claims on Thursday at 8:30 in the morning is going to be the biggest, most important thing in this whole section. We're not going to go over this ISM PMI because I just don't think it's going to be too much of a mover. We got non-farm payrolls at 8:30 on Friday. So Thursday and Friday are the only ones that you need to keep on your watch list. So June 6th and June 7th are the biggest ones. Now we might get some movement at 8:15 on Wednesday, but I wouldn't worry so much about that. It's the Thursday initial jobless claims data that's going to move the market more, and Friday the non-farm payroll at 8:30 is what's going to be moving the market the most, okay? So keep that on hand and in your minds that at Thursday, 8:30, Friday, 8:30, keep in mind. And usually we don't get data out on Fridays, so it's very interesting to see, okay? All right, guys, let's go ahead and end this poll. Let's see what we got here. We'll end this poll now. There it is. Will the market reach all-time new highs? 82% say yes, and I would have to agree with you. I think we're going to head higher. If we do anything, I think we're going to at least trade sideways. Will we get to all-time new highs? Well, with volume like this coming in, I would like to say yes, okay? Now, I don't like to predict. I like to react. So if we start to get volume coming into the market and we start to head higher, then you better believe I'm going to be smashing that gas on everything in our watch list. And guys, this is what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to take a picture of the watch list that I just went over for you guys right now, and I'm going to post that in my Discord. So if you haven't already, join our Discord. We're all happy, friendly, cheeky groups of people. I just posted that in our general chat, so that way you guys can access it just as easily as everyone else. And if you guys have any questions, you're more than welcome to ask them in there. But other than that, do you have any questions? I'll take a sip of water, and if you guys have any questions, I'm almost out. About to get a scratchy voice here. I'm almost out. After a long day of fishing a couple days ago and some grilling up ribs today, I'm going to sleep well tonight, ladies and gentlemen, and we are prepared. We're prepped. We're ready for the market ahead. So if you guys have any questions, let me know right now in the chat, or forever hold your peace. Well, if not, I have to say this. Stay optimistic, friends. It's a beautiful upside reversal. I do really hope to see this market continues to move much, much higher, and I appreciate every single one of you being here today. If I brought you any value whatsoever, make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe button, share it with your friends. Jimmy, you're absolutely welcome. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you, and I hope you have an amazing night. We'll see you in the Discord.